See this, ladies and gents? This is how the movie theater parking lot should look. Packed to the brim, baby. We about to celebrate 20 years of Hoyts right here in Manassas. All summer long, baby. Bang your head to the opening rep. What's happening, y'all? It's your boy J-Dub here, and welcome to episode 31 of The Real Rush, right here on YouTube. You know what today is? You know what today is that we filming this shit? Cinco de Mayo, motherfuckers! Happy Cinco de Mayo! Y'all need to be driving safely out there, given the fact that, well, it doesn't matter what day of the week it is. Just drive safe, okay? Like if you need an Uber, a Lyft, a Luber, a Wift, whatever, just make sure you do it. But make sure you enjoying yourselves. And have a taco or two for your boy J-Dub here. Because we sitting here doing this. And we didn't have no Cinco de Mayo shit today. We had ourselves some Nashville hot chicken with some mashed potatoes and corn and all types of stuff. That's what your boy had for Cinco de Mayo. Oh, and we've been sipping on this Seeger's ginger ale because I'm drinking it and they paying for it. Freak-a-leak! So, let's get on down. Actually, let's bring some shit up to speed here. So, as you just saw a couple moments ago in the intro to today's episode, this weekend kicks off the hellacious summer of 20 years of Hoyts/Regal. I'ma still call it Hoyts. Hashtag I still call it Hoyts. Being up at the Park Ridge Center in Manassas, up off of Bullock Drive, baby. Seems like just yesterday, I went up there to write a piece for my high school newspaper. And the boy, the manager at the time, I came up there with a couple of my boys. I said, yo, we come up here, write an article on this badass new theater that we got out here in Manassas. Tell me all about it. Check it out. Not only did he let me interview him for the paper, but he let us see a free screening of Black Mask, Jet Li, in the big theater, just to give us a taste of what that shit was like. We had never seen any type of theater with stadium seating in it before. Oh my God. And that still remains 20 years later to this day. One of my homes away from home. One of my many fortresses of solitude, if you will. Like I said, seems like just yesterday we were up there seeing Black Mask. First official movie that I saw up at that joint. Star Wars The Phantom Menace. Then I started working there that summer. A couple months later, that shit was still playing in the theater. I must have seen Phantom Menace at least 400 times that goddamn summer. Between that and The Sixth Sense, I didn't want to watch either of those two movies for years to come. I didn't watch Phantom Menace again until just before Rogue One, a couple years ago. That's a long ass time, but hey, when you see a movie almost 500 times, that's what's gonna happen. So yeah, 20 years of waits. So we're gonna be doing that shit all summer, baby. What else we got going on? A bunch of people still going to see Endgame. No surprises there. Who hasn't seen it yet, huh? Who hasn't gone to, experience the madness yet? Huh? I ain't gonna spoil nothing here for you. I ain't no goddamn Game of Thrones fan. Just look through my damn news feed all last week. All the Marvel fans and shit, they're keeping pretty mum. They're pretty good for the most part, except for like the 2% out there that I might have a problem with. But Game of Thrones, shit, y'all can't keep secrets for shit, man. So I ain't like that. So you ain't seen Endgame yet? My lips is shut. When you see it, then we can talk about that shit. But so many people are still seeing Endgame that when I went to the movies at Hoyts on Thursday night, both movies. What did I see Thursday night? I saw The Intruder and El Chicano. Both movies, both times, both theaters, I had to myself. Great, so I got black as shit up in the theater, especially during The Intruder. I'll tell you about that when we get to that review here in a moment. But yeah, keep on seeing Endgame. Holla at your boy when you do, and we'll converse on it. The more and more people see it, the happier I get, because that's not as much shit that I got to, that's a lot of weight to keep carrying around. So keep doing what you do. But we got some other movies here for y'all too, because Endgame is not the only game in town playing at the fucking theater. We got seven reviews for you this week right here on The Real Rush. I know last weekend I said 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I had 6. But then, what usually happens? The Angelica added some shit. And if the Angelica is playing it, then your boys got to see it. That is a Real Rush rule. Triple R, Real Rush rule. If the Angelica is playing it, I must see it. If it is like a new release feature film that's going to be playing for more than one day or like one showing, so outside of like the special anime shit that they do and all that, your boy is there. Guaranteed. So, let's go ahead and get on down to brass tacks, since we got 700 movies to review for y'all this week. We're going to kick things off with, let's kick things off with last night's main event. Let's kick things off with this week's Saturday night's main event movie. I'm talking about the new rom-com, Long Shot. Now this, as you see right there, it's got Seth Rogen and my girl, Charlize Theron. How you doing, baby? You get to treat you good, huh? You need somebody to treat you good? Holla at your boy here on The Real Rush. Charlize ain't never gonna see no goddamn Real Rush. But just in the off case, because the internet's not off limits to anybody. Ma'am, I have no hat to tip here, but I'm gonna tip my hat to your fine ass, Charlize. Let's get down to the review for Long Shot. So, in Long Shot, you got Seth Rogen. He's playing a journalist named Fred Flarsky. And he ends up reconnecting with his once upon a time babysitter, now turned Secretary of State and presidential candidate, or presidential hopeful, Charlotte Field, played by Charlize Theron. And she in turn hires him to be her special speechwriter. Because he's got that gift of gab, baby. He's got a way with words that ain't nobody else in that universe got. She sees that. Great asset. And do Sparks end up flying in between the two? That's what the trailer and the fact that I just said that it's a rom-com lead us to say. All in all, ooh, before we get to the all in all, this also has in it O'Shea Jackson Jr., aka Ice Cube Jr. We also got Bob Odenkirk, Better Call Saul, Alexander Skarsgård, boys lighting it up lately, and also the one and only Mr. Andy Serkis. I forgot that he was in the joint until they went to go roll the ending credits, because as only Andy Serkis can do, he's in a completely unrecognizable role in this movie, and it's not CGI, just makeup. I probably gave away a little bit too much right there, but let's see if you can point him out when he comes out on the screen. Long Shot. Absolutely hilarious. It's hands down the best major new release of this weekend. The romantic elements are just right in it to, not be too lovey-dovey. Rogen and Goldberg's style of gross out humor, it's there, but it's not too over the top. I didn't have to cringe at any moment. I don't know, some of y'all might. I don't know. I see a lot of, well, after High Life and seeing all those fluids, it's going to take some shit to really afflict me, I should say. But if you have a date or not, go see this movie. Because your boy ain't had a date in a minute. So your boy just going to the movies all the time, by himself, all the time. Doesn't matter. But movies like this, the single people tend to stay away from just because of the fact that it looks like such a good date movie, okay? Which it is. If you have somebody to take to go see Long Shot, by all means, take them to go see Long Shot. If there's somebody that you're interested in, you ain't been out with them yet, hey, take them to go see Long Shot. Or if you ain't got nobody, you're looking for something to do, take your ass go see Long Shot. One thing I do want to bring up, as I kind of touched on at the beginning of this episode, of the whole spoiler shit there is a line in this movie that a character mentions that they are a huge Game of Thrones fan. But they don't actually watch the fucking show. They just read the synopsis to keep up with it. That's not a fan. That's a poser. I've had people tell me in the past, not just on Game of Thrones, but on different shows. Like, yeah, I'm a fan of that show, man. I'm a fan of this show. I'm a fan of that show. Then they would tell me on the download later on, yo, man, I actually didn't watch the episode. I just read the spoilers or read the synopsis, but, you know, I was still keeping up. No, nigga, you ain't. No, that is not how you watch a show. You take the time to sit down and watch the show. That's what you do. Boom. Did you like that? I caught it right in my lap. Don't be a poser. Be a fucking true fan. Put in the work, the elbow grease, just like everybody else. Don't Cliff Notes that shit. Yes, that's the equivalent of Cliff Notes in that shit. Don't do that. Alright? Alright. So that was a little bit off topic, even though it was included in the movie. But get back on topic. Long shot. See it. And holla at your boy on what you thought about Long Shot. Alright. Next up on this episode's Real Rush Ticket. Gonna rewind things. Let's go back to the first movie that I watched this past Thursday. I'm talking about that new thriller, The Intruder. And as I stated last week, if I recall correctly, I do remember saying something along the lines that I was pretty intrigued by this movie, solely because of the fact that Dennis Quaid looks like he's out of his batty fucking mind in this. Let's get on down to it. So, in The Intruder, we have Michael Ealy and Megan Good as a couple that end up purchasing their dream home out in wine country. Napa Valley, wine country. Yes, me and the missus, we spend so much time out here in wine country. Yes. No, we do not associate with the lower class folk. We're in wine country. Well, at least Ealy and Good ain't that goddamn uppity in this movie. So they end up purchasing their dream home out in the Napa Valley from one and only Charlie Peck, played by Dennis Quaid. He seems charming and friendly enough. Of course, you know, old Charlie has some trouble letting go of his old estate here that he's lived in his whole life. And beneath that, you know, friendly, charming surface, there seems to be some skeletons in the closet lurking beneath that facade. So, given all this, it sounds pretty cliche, right? It looked pretty cliche from the trailer and the TV spots and stuff like that. So my expectations for it, even though I was pretty intrigued by it and, you know, really wanted to see it, I didn't let my expectations get set too high on this one. And wow, it obviously went above and beyond my expectations because I didn't set them as high. And that's a good thing. For the average moviegoer, I would suggest you the same because this is a good popcorn flick right here. This is a thrill ride that will most certainly keep you on the edge of your seat. And let's get to Dennis Quaid here. Dennis Quaid delivers a creepy, sinister performance unlike anything that I've ever seen him do on film, TV, whatever before. So that alone, right there, that's a selling point. That's the movie's major selling point. Dennis Quaid batshit off the deep end in The Intruder. Right there. Now, despite some hokiness in the dialogue here and there, other than that, I really dug The Intruder. And I think you will too. I didn't have anybody else in the audience to gauge it with because I was the audience that night. That day. Go see it. Holla at your boy. Let me know what you think. I don't think you'd be disappointed. This looks like something that normally you would matinee. Nah, go ahead, see The Intruder. Let me know what you think. Okay? Okay. Next up on this episode of Real Rush Ticket, who we gonna go with? Ooh. Let's fast forward things a little bit. We go back to yesterday, Saturday. And what was the movie that I mentioned last week that I said if for some reason I have to cut any movie, it would be this movie. And I felt bad even saying that. Just for time constraints. Not because I didn't want to see it or anything, but it was giving me a bad vibe. I am talking about UglyDolls. Okay? Now this is, indeed, new animated musical that is based off of the popular toy line. I don't know if I had ever really heard of these things before. I saw the trailer a couple months ago. Maybe I had, maybe I haven't. I don't really remember. I don't really recall. Maybe I saw them in passing at like a fucking Hot Topic or Spencer's or something. I don't know. I don't know where they sell these things. But anyway, that's beside the point. Now, given that, this already sounds like something like, well, they just made this movie to sell more toys. We gonna get to that. This follows the UglyDolls on their quest to be, you know, picked by kids as their toy of their choice, so that way they can be loved, just like any other doll, despite their visual flaws. You see where this movie's going, don't you? You see where it's going. You see where it's going. Okay. So, the voice cast. You got Kelly Clarkson, you got Janelle Monáe, Nick Jonas, Blake Shelton, Pitbull. I mean, Pitbull is literally like an animated version of himself in this movie. Suit and all. It's kind of hilarious. Alright. Wanda Sykes, Gabriel Iglesias, Emma Roberts, Charlie XCX. Even Ice-T pops up in the joint. Well, he doesn't pop up, but his voice pops up in the joint. And I thought I recognized that. Yeah. You mean to tell me that these ugly dolls ain't gonna show up on my episode of Law and Order? Yep, Ice-T, baby. So, once again, initially, this movie was giving me an emoji movie vibe. That's not a good thing by any means necessary. The Emoji Movie landed on my bottom 10 list of 2K17. It might, in fact, be one of the worst movies that I've ever seen in my life. Is UglyDolls that same way? No. Once again, going into this one, my expectations were set pretty goddamn low. But this was better than expected. Overall, it's decent. It's cute. It seemed at times, however, that it was a movie built around a soundtrack. But I mean, what the fuck else do you want when you have the voice cast that is 98.7% musicians? That's what's gonna happen, right? Right. Do the songs just kind of pop up at random? It's an animated musical movie for kids. Yeah, that's gonna happen here. So that being said, it is definitely tailored more towards the kids. There were a few points in there that I could see make most average adults just cringe, as if they got dragged to the shit by their kids, because they probably did. I, on the other hand, go see this joint voluntarily. By the end, I'm not gonna lie, y'all, UglyDolls did have me smiling. Some bits of it are pretty cheesy. Once again, it's more for the kids. Don't go into it looking for any adult humor. But the moral of acceptance is staying true to oneself, no matter what anybody else says, you know. You're not big enough, you're not tall enough, blah, you're not strong enough, you need to go to the gym more, blah, blah, blah. Fuck you and your gym pics, alright? Be who you are, as long as it ain't hurting nobody. And if they can't accept it, fuck them. But this movie is about acceptance, and it is about staying true to your own heart. And that's a message that everybody can dig. Maybe it's not executed in the best fashion with this movie, but it's not executed in the worst fashion either. Alright? So that's a message that more movies need these days. I did speak with a gentleman after this one in particular while I was waiting to go see Long Shot. So in between UglyDolls and Long Shot. And we both agreed these type of movies, that kind of message needs to be in more movies these days, okay? Now, then, aside from that, I had a few peeps outside of the movie theater, online and such, tell me that they enjoyed this as well. Now, this is one that obviously, I have to say obviously, because it obviously is not getting the best reviews. It's getting, as Wikipedia stated it, generally unfavorable reviews. And yes, most of this is probably coming from the adult population that got dragged to it and did not want to be there. But honestly, I'd say give it a shot. Flex your empathy muscles and go see UglyDolls. Take the kids, go see it. I think you'll enjoy it. Or at least get something out of the message. If you get something out of this movie, or get something from the message, in my eyes, that's a success. So, UglyDolls, go check it out. I managed to find managed to find the perfections in what's being called an imperfect movie. But hey, that's just my way of staying positive. That's how J-Dub do for y'all here in the Real Rush. Alright? Alright. UglyDolls. Check it out. Okay. Next up on the Real Rush, Stick It Man. I don't know why I went with the Jamaican accent when I'm about to talk about a Latino movie, man. Alright, so let's switch it up in there, let's say. The next movie up on the Real Rush ticket, let's say. El Chicano. Ooh. The Ghetto Grim Reaper, as George Lopez put it. El Chicano. This follows an LAPD detective as he's working a case on a really, really dangerous cartel out west, obviously in LA, the LAPD. Now, when things turn personal, this very detective, torn, you know, when his own law ain't enough, he must become El Chicano, an urban legend, masked vigilante who seeks his own brand of brutal street justice to fight for honor and for that of the barrio. This movie is not getting a lot of press, y'all. I haven't seen any TV spots. I never saw one trailer for this movie, and the only TV spots that I've seen for it were during either Raw or SmackDown. And it's a damn shame because this movie is vicious. Good Lord. Excuse me. Extremely well, I wouldn't say extremely well, but pretty well choreographed fight scenes. And it does feature some goosebump-raising cinematography. I don't want to, give anything away here, but there's this one point where the word rage is mentioned. And it almost kind of has like this Kill Bill feel to it. And if you know what I'm talking about, the rage, I'll say one word. If you know what I'm talking about when it comes to Kill Bill and rage, I'll say one word and you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. Ironside. And if you don't know that, then you need to do a little bit more homework, pop culture wise, if I do say so myself, because I do. So, now, okay, it's important that I do mention, El Chicano did feel kind of choppy at points, and I know why. The theatrical release that we got is about an hour and 47 minutes long. That is 35 minutes longer than the festival version. So somewhere out there is a 2-hour and 22-minute version of this movie. I can guarantee that the missing footage will pretty much tie it all together even better. Now, even though that is choppy at points, the theatrical release, it's really good. It's really good. It's like an origin story. It's got its beginning. It's good, first 2 acts before you really get down to like the meat and the brutal shit that happens in this movie. So yeah, let us hope and keep our fingers crossed for an uncut or director's cut festival version, Blu-ray, 4K, whatever. Okay, because I want to see that on home video release most certainly, I will be giving this. Remember what I said a couple episodes ago? How I gauge movies. Not only would I buy this movie on Blu-ray, but I would totally pay full price for this movie on Blu-ray. But in the meantime, go see what is being presented in the theater. You know, make sure that get to the theater to support this movie. That's why I say that, because it's, like I said, it's not getting the best press right now. It's getting nobody's heard of it. I've been saying all week I'm gonna go see El Chicano. Everybody's like, what the fuck is that? I try to tell them about it. They're like, that sounds really cool. And I say, I know. So go support El Chicano, and hopefully, remember I did say this about the public, and it did turn out to be kind of true. The more people that see it, the more word of mouth, the more promo this movie gets. And the more promo this movie gets, the better chance that we'll get of having this joint being released as an uncut Blu-ray when it comes time for that. So, El Chicano, go check that shit out. Seriously, people gotta know. People gotta know about El Chicano. Mofo. Rodney, how we doing on time, man? Okay. So before we get on down to the next ticket, or what's next on the ticket, let's take a little look at just what happened last night after we left Hoyt's.
Where's your mother?
Well, fuck. I told you, I'm drinking it, and they paying for it. Freakily. Yeah, that shit looked pretty nuts, didn't it? Yeah. That's what I had to drive through to get back here to the vault last night. It got worse than that when I left Hoyt's. The shit was so bad that Interstate 66 started to flood. I didn't even know this shit was possible. Nobody could stay in their lane because the shit was flooded. And I didn't realize until today, a couple moments ago, just how goddamn terrifying that experience was. But that's what your boy goes through to bring you this goodness here on The Real Rush. So, hey, we here, baby. We here. Ain't nothing to be afraid of. We here in the vault. What's up next on The Real Rush ticket? Let's go with some indie shit. Let's go with The White Crow. This is a biopic that is directed by Ray Fiennes, and it also stars him in a supporting role. And this tells the true story of world-renowned ballet dancer Rudolf Nureyev in his early 20s, early to mid-20s, as he sought to escape the oppressive rule of the Soviet Union at the time. We're talking like the mid to late 50s, early 60s. This way, because all he wanted to do was dance and express himself freely on his own terms, not by that of the government. That sounds a little familiar, doesn't it? I'm not going to go down that road. But that's your plot right there. If you haven't seen the trailer for this shit, I do highly recommend it. If you haven't seen The White Crow yet at all, I highly recommend it. It is remarkably shot. Outstanding performances all around, especially that of Oleg Ivanko, who plays Mr. Nureyev. It's told in a somewhat non-linear fashion, but it's not too hard to follow. See it. It's currently in limited release. We know that we have it at Cinema Arts, and I know that the Angelica has it as well. So if you're in the Virginia area, let me say that again. I ran a lot of words together right there. If you're in the Northern Virginia area, go check out The White Crow. Get yourself some indie shit going on. And get yourself a little bit of education going on right there as well. Because there is a whole backstory. If you know pretty much the gist of how like Nureyev defected from Russia and stuff, this should fascinate you even more if you don't know the true details of the story. Seemed pretty accurate. So boom, the White Crow. I almost said the White Russian. No, Lebowski, the White Crow. Even though Nureyev is Russian. The White Russian? Would that have been racist? Racist? Would that have been racist? Sean Connery. Would that have been racist if I'd called Rudolph Nureyev a White Russian? I don't know, maybe. What's up next on the Real Rush Ticket? Up next on the Real Rush Ticket, we go from white to red with Red Joan. This stars Judi Dench as an 80-something widow living a quiet, peaceful life when she's suddenly placed the fuck under arrest by the British Secret Service, of all people. And why? Because she had allegedly been trading weapons intelligence to the Soviets for decades. Is it actually true or not? Are the allegations true? We don't know. This film follows a flashback narrative that stars Sophie Cookson as a young Joan. So you got Judi Dench, old Joan, Sophie Cookson, young Joan, right? And the flashbacks, they go back and forth from old Joan's interrogation to what's happening concurrently with young Joan, right? It details whether or not any of these allegations are true. Now, as I stated, you got Dame Judi Dench in this movie. Not just Judi Dench, she is Dame Judi Dench to you. Have you ever seen a bad Judi Dench movie? Not one that I can think of. This one is not getting the best reviews. And neither myself nor anybody else at the Cinema Arts audience the other night could figure out for the life of us why. Judi Dench is brilliant, as always. Not in the movie as much as you would think so, having top billing, but more times given to the flashback, and I think that part is more important to, actually get us to the present day without giving too much away there. The story is intriguing enough to, once again, as I stated about our movie earlier, to keep you on the edge of your seat. The few moviegoers that I spoke with after the movie was all said and done absolutely loved it. I would say, honestly, that between myself and the audience there, we would have given it at least, if we were to rate it Rotten Tomatoes wise, it'd be pretty goddamn close to fresh, if not fresh. But alas, that is not where it is sitting on RT right now. But how much of them numbers are actually true between that and the Metascore and IMDb ratings and critics reviews and stuff? Honestly, CinemaScore seems like the way to go when it comes to... You're getting shit from the word of mouth, from actual people who just saw the movie. Not any critics who might be underneath any type of, judgmental bias or anything like that. So, be part of that CinemaScore. And go check out Red Joan yourself. This is also in limited release. As far as I know, only Cinema Arts in the Northern Virginia area has it. You know of any other place in the DC metropolitan area that might have it? You might want to check out the East Street Cinema. Check out Red Joan. Holla at your boy with what you thought about this movie. You never do, but hey, holla at your boy. Or don't. I don't give a fuck. Let's go on to the very last movie on this episode's Real Rush Ticket. This is the one that was unannounced until just earlier this week by the Angelica. Well done, because they gave us some visceral shit to experience and close out our Friday night with. This was our Friday night Angelica main event. We went from Cinema Arts to Angelica Friday nights. This joint is called Long Day's Journey Into Night. That's into night, not in tonight. Into night. Okay? Is it on the poster there? Right? Yeah, it should be good on the poster there. Okay. This is a joint that I had never even heard of until the Angelica had posted about it. Angelica and Cinema Arts have a way of doing that. And it's just 9 times out of 10, never a bad film. Long Day's Journey into Night is a 2018 Chinese film that follows a man who returns to his hometown, which he fled from many years before. He returns for his father's funeral, and he ends up becoming plunged into a search for a lost love, a woman who has just remained on his brain for many years. That sounds pretty straightforward enough, right? No. I just said this is a visceral experience. This is also told in some non-linear narrative. Now, given the fact that this is a subtitle movie, don't let that take away from the fact that it's incredibly intriguing. But this is most certainly a movie where paying attention is key. This is some shit where, like, plot points will, not can be, they will be missed. If you blink, I do not recommend using the restroom during this movie. Like, I would like to see the run pee on this, because I don't recall any points where I could go and run pee. I did have to do that after this 2 hour and 20-minute movie. But the main selling point of Long Day's Journey into Night is that the whole film culminates. Listen to me very carefully when I say this next part, because I'm not bullshitting you when I say it. It culminates in a staggering 59-minute one-take tracking shot that absolutely, truly has to be seen to be believed. That's the best way I can put that shit. You heard that right. 59-minute one-take tracking shot. I need to see this movie again. I liken it to Fight Club and High Life in that sort of sense, because I don't feel it's the fact that, like, I missed anything. There was some stuff that might have gone over me just because of how mind-blowing this 59-minute take was. If anybody's seen Snake Eyes, you know, when Nicolas Cage came out about 21 years ago, the very beginning shot, it goes for about 12 or 13 minutes. And that still boggles my mind to this day. Like, how the fuck did you do that? How did you choreograph that so well? You know, in a fight arena and stuff like that. How did you do that, Mr. De Palma? Now I need to know how this happened. I haven't looked it up online yet. I've seen that there are tons of articles on just how this shot got done. But I was sitting there in the movie just like, the whole time just, how the fuck did he do this? How are they doing this? This is insane. This might be the most incredible shit that I've ever seen when it pertains to one scene in a movie. Boom. There's your hype up for it. Overall, Long Day's Journey into Night is mind-boggling, and it's thought-provoking enough, once again, to warrant a second viewing. Get the cracking on that first one, y'all. See it. It's currently unlimited. It's at the Angelica. I'm not sure how long it might last. However, the 59-minute long take was shot in 3D. I would love to see what the hell it looked like in 3D, because it looked like it had some trippy elements that might pop out at you. We saw the 2D version. So if you get a chance to see the 3D version, not only take that chance, but let your boy know how it is, so I can keep my eyes open for it. And then I'll make my second viewing the 3D version. But this is going to be one that I'll definitely be getting on Blu-ray, 4K, whatever, regardless. Hopefully we get that over here in Region 1. Still waiting on a Region 1 Blu-ray of The Square. But boom. Long Day's Journey into Night. Go check that shit out. Rapidly. And let your boy know what you think. Okay? Okay. Capiche? Capiche. Alright. So that, ladies and gents, is a wrap for episode 31 of The Real Rush here on YouTube. Please join your boy back here next weekend for episode 32 of The Real Rush, where I will have reviewed for you what we got on tap for next week. I didn't think I'd be as excited for this shit, but Pokemon Detective Pikachu, Pokemon is something that not only did I not follow growing up, I despised the shit out of it. When they came out with the Pokemon Go a couple years ago and that was all around, I don't want no part of that. This looks fucking cool. I am stoked for Pokemon Detective Pikachu. I cannot wait for it. Much like 2 years ago, Power Rangers. I couldn't stand Power Rangers when that shit was on originally on TV. With the exception of Amy Jo Johnson. I only watched for the Pink Ranger. What guy didn't only watch for the Pink Ranger? Duh. Amy Jo Johnson. How you doing? What's up? But back to my point. Amy Jo Johnson, Pink Ranger aside, I despise the Power Rangers. It provided good laughs if you had just a little bit beforehand, but other than that, I didn't see the value in it. But then I saw the Power Rangers movie, and it was fucking great. So I'm hoping the same thing out of Pokemon Detective Pikachu. What else we got? We got The Hustle, Anne Hathaway and Rebel Wilson, which, if I'm not mistaken, is a remake of Dirty Rotten Scoundrels from the 80s. Michael Caine and Steve Martin. We'll see how that one goes. We also got For Your Palms with the oh-so only gets hotter with age, like a fine wine. Ciao bella, Miss Diane Keaton, ma'am. This episode makes me sound like a goddamn Hollywood player, and I ain't never made it out of Northern Virginia yet, so I'm gonna have some work to do when I get to Hollywood. I'm gonna need a lot of orange juice. Sounds like I'm gonna need a lot of energy. Got Palms. Last but most certainly not least, got Tolkien. Is that how you pronounce it? J.R.R. Tolkien. Yes. So Tolkien. Yes. This will be interesting, seeing as in I've never seen any of the Lord of the Rings movies or the Hobbit movies. There's a reason behind this. Because your boy knew back in the day that the Lord of the Rings movies are going to be long as shit. And before they even released it on DVD, I said I bet good money that when they do release them, those are going to be the extended cuts. What got released on DVD when they finally did come out? The motherfucking extended cuts. So I said one of these days, I'll get them all on Blu-ray. And that's how the hell I'm going to geek out over like the course of a week or something. So I plan on doing that with those and the Harry Potter movies at some point too. But I'm going to go see the story behind the man who wrote Lord of the Rings and Hobbit and all that. So we're going to go see Tolkien next week. So that's next week's episode, ladies and gents. Until then, if, as always, you have any questions, comments, concerns, suggestions, shit like that, please go ahead, type those on, post them on this YouTube page where you're viewing this video right here, right now. And please don't forget to subscribe to the Real Rush channel right here on YouTube. Because as I state every episode, if you follow me on Instagram and you see that preview, the episode could have already been posted for hours. So if you really want a leg up on staying completely in tune with the Real Rush, you make sure your ass hit that subscribe button, baby. I'm still about 50 subscribers away from getting a custom URL. I would like that youtube.com /The Real Rush. That'd be so fucking nice. We'll get there eventually. But also in the meantime, please continue to spread the word of the Real Rush like everybody should be spreading love these days, ladies and gents. And if you haven't done so, you may also follow your boy on Instagram for my live movie check-ins as they occur. That is at JDubChampion, #TheRealRush. And for the Real Rush, ladies and gents, I am your boy J-Dub. Thank you for tuning in once again to the Real Rush. Remember, when you're at the movies, chill the fuck out, alright? Don't be doing all the talking and looking at the cell phone and the smartwatches and all that. Put all that shit away. Turn the brightness down. I actually did, side note, I heard one young lady say the other day that she asked the gentleman nicely who kept looking at his phone during the movie to please turn that brightness down. And he did it. So kudos. At least if you're gonna do it, don't be afraid to ask somebody, you know, could you turn that shit down, please? And the guy was nice about it. So boom. Confrontation. It doesn't have to be scary, y'all. It's good. So chill out at the movies. Enjoy yourselves. Have fun. Love J-Dub.